Whew. Hi there, Facebook. Skip Bayless coming to you live from the west side of Los Angeles, about a mile from our studios on the Fox movie lot. Fox Sports 1 will be on tomorrow, undisputed, from 9:30 to noon Eastern Time. FS1, do not miss, because I'm going to have a lot to say then, and I'm going to have a little bit to say here for the next few minutes as I keep an eye on this Cleveland-Green Bay game, which obviously has some impact, potentially long-term, on the Dallas Cowboys' chances of making the playoffs. Quick cameo from my quote-unquote daughter, our Maltese, now a year and 2 months old, Hazel. My wife Ernestine went to run some errands. She can't stand to be around while the Cowboys are on, and I'm going crazy, but Hazel toughed it out with me, so I got her by myself. Hazel gets a cameo. Hi, Hazel. Say hi to Facebook. Say hi. Here you go. She's a little sleepy. Get your paw out of the way. You okay? You're a good girl. Oh, thank you. Clean my nose before we do Facebook Live. Thank you. I'm going to let you go, okay? Here. Here you go. Go wait for your mom. You can go wait for your mom. No, she doesn't want to wait for her mom. She wants to stay in here and do Facebook Live. How about them Cowboys? I must admit, oh me of little faith, it was getting pretty shaky. It felt like one of those games that was on a silver platter for the New York Football-Giants to pull off an extremely satisfying upset that would sort of cleanse their year a little bit at 2-10. I said on Undisputed on Friday, it was the perfect scenario. Uh-oh. I don't know what just happened with the Packers. But anyway, I thought it was a perfect scenario for the return of the beloved Eli back to the starting lineup and the return of Spagnuolo to coach the team and get Ben Muchado out of there. And it just felt like it was one of those setups where you're going to get an emotional gut check performance from what's left of the New York Giants. They hate the Dallas Cowboys, and it just had that feeling all game long, silver platter for the Giants to upset the silver and blue. And I thought the turning point play of the game came when it's just teeter-tottering on 10-10, 10-10. Hang on, Hazel's going to go over here, and she can't go over here. I got to shut this door. Hang on. There you go. Hazel, go look for your mom. She's out there. Go look for your mom. She's going to stay here on Facebook. So the point is, Eli's got the ball, has a first down completion. He's just dinking and dunking. And I'm thinking, uh-oh, here we go again. But the biggest uh-oh of the game was when Sean Lee did not come out for the first series of the game. I'm sorry, of the second half. And fortunately, Pam Oliver reported that it wasn't his hamstring, although she had said that he was sort of jogging up and down the sideline. I thought, uh-oh, here we go again. I tweeted about it. It looked like hamstring barking again. Eric Dickerson predicted last, I think it was Thursday on Undisputed, that once you've torn a hamstring, it just plagues you, nags you, eats at you, and finally bites you again. And I feared that's what had happened, but for some reason they were going to rest Sean Lee for the first defensive series of the second half. I have no idea. I don't get it. I don't buy it. But whatever. And yet there was Sean Lee. Remember the end around they tried to run to Sterling Shepard? I thought it was the turning point of the game because the Giants were feeling pretty good, a little better about themselves. And Sean Lee blew it up. He sniffed it out, he read it, and he blew it all apart and beat the blocker and threw down Sterling Shepard. And it just felt like everything turned at that point. Maybe Jordan Lewis got away. I didn't think it was pass interference. It just felt like it was an underthrow by Eli, just a poor throw where Evan Ingram had to sort of try to come back through Jordan Lewis. I just didn't think it was pass interference, but Hazel, what are you doing? Hang on. No. I just thought that Jordan Lewis made a good play. He made a whole bunch of good plays in this game. That kid can play. I told Shannon Sharp on Undisputed after the draft, I thought he should have been a late first-round pick. He was a third-round pick because he has domestic abuse incident hanging over him. He got out of that. Not sure what happened, but he got out. He was cleared of that domestic abuse. And, man, He has been a player for the Dallas Cowboys. Sean Lee is it on the defense. I've been throwing out the stats all year long. Again, they win with Sean Lee on defense. They lose without him on defense. It's as simple as that. He finally came back today, and I thought they were really good on defense against not much of an offense, but a dangerous one with Eli back in the saddle, feeling like he's Jeter-esque. He wants to get his job back. He'd like to keep his job for one more year. Maybe that would be his last year. John Mara's, I have no idea what was going on there, but clearly he had signed off on Ben Muchadu, benching Eli, ending the long streak. But now, for PR purposes, damage control, I think they want to get Eli back going again, and it felt like this would be the greatest way to do it, is to dethrone the Cowboys in their season and in whatever playoff hopes, long shot that they have. But Sean Lee threw down Sterling Shepard and punt, and here they came. Dak read the blitz on third down, got it quick out to Cole Beasley, who did a little reverse field on Landon Collins, and off he was to the races. He's not that fast, but he is sure quick. And 54 yards later, guess who? The Dallas Cowboys are knocking on the door, and Dak follows up on the first play, and this was the best play call on a long vanilla day of play calling from Scott Linehan. Boosh! He ran that same little in-and-out route that Jason Witten runs so beautifully, and Dak threw a fastball strike, hit him right up high where he could snag it toward the back of the end zone. Touchdown, and it just felt like lightning had struck. And then they followed up with another good defensive series, and again, he got Rod Smith lined up on a linebacker. He saw it, he read it, he knew it. He threw a sweet little pass leading Rod Smith up the field, and what did that go for? 81 yards, and that was basically the football game. Still 21-all in Browns-Packers. Obviously, it got off to a raggedy, rough start. Here you go. Now Hazel's out. Thank you very much, Hazel, for your cameo. And it got off to a rough start because Des Bryant just can't separate from anybody. And I've been on him all year long. I've said this since the second game of the year at Denver, that 42-17 debacle. He's lost his quickness and his speed and his confidence. And obviously, he had the first pass thrown to him, drop, hit him right in the hands. It was a little bit of a wobbler, but again, if you got $50 million guaranteed, you just got to catch that. At that moment, he felt like the most overpaid wide receiver in the history of pro football, because he proceeded soon after that to drop a pass that hit him right in the face mask up the field that could have gone maybe for a touchdown, certainly a goal-to-go situation. And I was done with him. And at that point, I tweeted they got to get Bryce Butler in there, and I had failed to check because I didn't anticipate it. Bryce Butler was inactive today with some foot that had kept him. He had been limited in practice. I saw that, but he'd been limited for weeks. He'd had this foot injury, and I mentioned on Undisputed that Bryce Butler, a friend of mine called me and told me he saw Bryce Butler out here in Southern California playing golf on Friday. Obviously, they had the weekend off because they had the mini bye after the Thursday night win over Washington. And I told my friend, well, he should probably just keep playing golf. Just stay out there and play golf, because they never throw to him anyway. He had one target, no catches against Washington. He came into the Washington game averaging 21 yards a catch. He's the only Dallas Cowboy receiver who can actually separate and can run by anybody, because even Terrence Williams just doesn't look very fat, like he's lost some of his burst and speed. And yet Dak threw him an early ball up the sideline. I know it was a pretty good defensive play, but it still got through the hands and hit Terrence Williams right in the hands, and he couldn't hold on. All the receivers have lost confidence, and yet near the end of the half, the Giants leave that kid out there. I can't even remember what his name was. Brandon Dixon. Brandon Dixon has now been with 7 NFL teams in 3 years. Go back and look at how many teams have cut him. He was drafted by the Jets in I think the 6th round in 2014, and they cut him in August. That's how bad he was for them. Then he bounced, and he winds up on the Giants practice squad this year. And they activated him late in the year. They didn't have Janoris Jenkins to bedevil Des Bryant. And they elevate Brandon Dixon from the practice squad on November 28th. So just here recently is he even been on the active roster. And they have him on Des Bryant in single coverage. That's all you need to know about how little respect that the Giants now have for Des Bryant. And it's a blitz situation. They got Brandon Dixon on him, and Des runs his usual. He's got like 3 routes that he runs. He runs his usual little in cut. And Brandon Dixon, on a 17 practice squad all year, gambles and loses. Once again, Dak put it right on the money. And all of a sudden, Des caught it and turned up the field, and nobody is home. Whoosh. What'd he go, 50 yards for a touchdown? So that saved the game because it made it 10-10 at half, and I didn't see that coming. But in the end, Dak Prescott made every throw he had to make. Dak Prescott was mostly running for his life much of the game. Dak Prescott, did he ever get sacked? I don't think he ever actually went down. I don't remember. I have to check, but I don't remember. He looked like he was sacked at one point. Where he just escaped. I'm trying to think. I'm racking my brain. I can't think of one sack today because he felt the rush. He ducked the rush. Olivier Vernon had him that one time, and he ducked underneath him. I think Vernon got hurt on the play and got the ball out to the flat, to his fullback. It's just like one play after another he made. A lot of accurate passes. The only pass he missed was in the red zone early. He was a little late and behind Terrence Williams in the back of the end zone, but that's the only pass that he missed. And he throws for, 332, the most yardage he's thrown for in his career. A lot of run after catch today. But the defense is really starting to click, especially if Sean Lee can stay healthy. I'm really starting to love this team. That was a close game for way too long today, but finally, when they broke through, they looked like the same team that had dominated the Redskins. It just took a while. So I'm loving what I'm seeing. I can't wait to watch this Eagles game because obviously I'm rooting for the Rams. I got the Rams winning this game. I got the Cowboys staying remotely on the Eagles' tail. I got the Cowboys winning at Oakland. Will not be easy. I got the Cowboys beating Seattle back at Jerry World. And who knows? I know it's a long shot, but wouldn't it be something if that last game of the year in Philadelphia actually meant something? Wouldn't it be something if it actually meant something as far as who wins the NFC East? Wouldn't it be something if these guys, you like my new hat, hung on and hung in and put some shockingly unexpected pressure on the Philadelphia Eagles? Wouldn't that be something after they have ridden high all year? I cannot wait to lay it on Shannon Sharp tomorrow. Again, I don't know. The Eagles are big favorites, although the betting public bet it way down in this game to come. So let's see how Carson Wentz does. Let's see what happens. It's about to kick off here. All I know is that fourth quarter was owned as it should have been by Dak Prescott and the Dallas defense. Dan Bailey had a really bad day. Missed 2 long field goals in a very, very tough place to kick. Capped it off by missing 1 extra point, then hit the last one. Do I trust Dan Bailey as the most accurate kicker ever? He may not be after today. But do I trust him to make the kick to win the game? You better believe I do. Do I now trust this team to get better and better? One more game, and then guess who comes back? Number 21. Do I think this team, still a long shot, is going to need a lot of help from a lot of not their friends? Do I think this team could be as dangerous as any team going into the postseason? You better believe I do. You better believe I'm coming for Shannon Sharp, Eric Dickerson. Who else is on tomorrow? Michael Vick, Tony Gonzalez, cast of dozens. I will see you tomorrow on Undisputed on Fox Sports 1, 9:30 to noon Eastern Time. And Cowboy fans, I really got your back tomorrow. because Dak Prescott had your back today. I will see you tomorrow at 9:30 Eastern Time on Fox Sports 1. Go Rams.